He planned to take the nun as his wife, but then he repented. Don Juan was a young man who was notorious for his debauchery in the capital of Spain. His father was a general favored by the king, who granted him many titles and commanded the army to fight the Turks, the Muslim army that ruled Spain at that time. Relying on his father's power, he no longer feared the law and indulged in debauchery. He seduced many widows and beautiful women from noble families to satisfy his sexual desires and killed many love rivals to escape. Don Juan's mother was a pious woman, praying the rosary every day and night for the souls in purgatory. She hired a famous painter to paint a picture of purgatory in which the fire burned fiercely, burning the souls of sinners. Above the door of purgatory, there was an angel and a pious woman praying the rosary. The angel reached out and pulled a soul out of purgatory. She called Don Juan in and said, "Every time you say a rosary, you save a soul. So when your mother dies, if you want to save her, say the rosary for her." That idea was deeply ingrained in the child's mind, like a blank sheet of paper with a picture drawn on it. From then on, Don Juan went into the room every day to pray with his mother, praying for the souls in purgatory. His father was a military general, so he forced Don Juan to learn the art of war and killing enemies, influenced by these two educational trends later on. Despite his extreme sins, he did not forget to pray for his mother. One day, he and his friends were planning to kidnap a beautiful nun to be his wife. But while waiting for the time to act, he suddenly saw a very crowded funeral procession, about 1 kilometer long. All of them were dead souls dressed in black, with white scarves on their heads, entering the church. He stepped forward and asked, "Whose funeral is this that has so many people?" One person answered, "Don Juan's funeral." He said, "Don Juan is still alive. Why is there a funeral?" Not believing, he asked another person, and they also answered, "We are the souls that Don Juan's mother prayed for when she was alive. Now we repay her by holding a funeral and praying for her son, Don Juan." At that moment, he saw a fierce black snake jump out of the coffin, fall to the ground and die. Don Juan was so scared, he fell to the ground unconscious. People gathered around to see, knew it was Don Juan and cursed, the big swindler deserved to die. The police helped him up, looked at his papers, knew he was Count Don Juan, and took him home for emergency treatment. 3 days later, he woke up, told her the whole story. Then he volunteered to sell all his property, built a small church to thank Our Lady of the Rosary. He asked to join the ascetic order and took the name Ambrosio. He lived austerely for 15 years, working hard, eating only a little bread with vegetables dipped in salt, drinking water, praying the rosary all day long for the souls, following his mother's teachings. He wrote a will. After his death, please bury his body under the entrance of the Rosary Church that he had built, with the words, "This is the grave of the most sinful man in the world." But later people added the words, "But he repented." Comment: the story has been described in many books, newspapers, and novels. Don Juan's Shrine of Our Lady of the Rosary is still in the capital of Spain, a historical site and also a pilgrimage center for many tourists. The power of the Rosary is extremely effective and has brought many sinners to repentance. Saying so does not mean that to keep committing sins and then keep believing in the mercy of the Virgin Mary until death, that is really wrong and dangerous.